Silly me. I did an internet faux pas.
Look, I was tired of being afraid all the time, not knowing why. Sleepless, waking up terrified. I was tired of living in the past in fear. I had to change. Now I know, no matter how much I do change, I am left with me.
I never really formally introduced who I am and more or less what I'm about, I guess. And I guess this is going to be one of those drawn out sort of videos, maybe, I don't know. But I'm an electronic music producer, and I go by the name Mech149 or Mechanobi or Music That Rides. And I've been producing music for, quite a while and stuff, but that's not all that I do. I'm going to get into a couple of different stuff that I do's and a couple of things I should do's and not do's. I don't know. But anyways, I do web design, graphic design, brand management, and corporate identity stuff in tech. And so for the most part, I work online. And for the music stuff, though, I started producing music at a pretty early age. I think I started technically doing my first kind of electronic music stuff, going to electronic music shows definitely, in my 20s. And I've been producing music for roughly 15 years, 15, maybe 20. I don't know, but I use a lot of different tools and stuff. I guess I'll get into the authenticity of some of that stuff. Authenticity, meaning that the music that I produce on Mech149 is hybrid music, and in it I do use AI, and I love using AI now because now all I have to do really is like compose some melodies, beats, and rhythms, and those are primarily composed and then more or less put into AI, mixed in, brought down, mixed again, sampled, and so all the music that you hear on the Mech149 channel and the Music That Rides channel, are fairly authentic music. All lyrics are originally written by myself, and I have a couple of AI generated female singers, which is kind of cool. You can hear them probably in like a track like Let Me In, or other tracks called Break. There's all kinds of different tracks that I've written over the last course since the Mech149 project kind of came about. But what really drove me to make the Mech149 thing in the Music That Rides thing. Music That Rides is a relatively newer channel because motorcycle riding. I also started riding at a very early age, in my 20s, way back in the day, and I quit for a while, and now I'm just kind of getting back into riding and stuff, and it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, just for like health reasons, mental health reasons, and just it keeps me centered on a lot of stuff, and it's just been nothing but a good thing for me to be doing. Um, but at any rate, with the Mech149 music, it's all deep house, electronic oriented music. So I mean, if you like deep house, funk music and stuff, I just might be your guy. And the music is released over on BandCamp, and I control all the distribution for my music now. So primarily you'll find my music on BandCamp, and I also produce music over on YouTube. I keep my music fairly free, and if you wanted to be able to support me, then of course go over to BandCamp. I have recently just dropped 2 albums called Album F and Gone Sideways. They're 2 different albums, really, really good stuff. And if you guys have a time, take a few moments to listen to it. And why did I choose the indie route? Well, first of all, as an electronic music producer, the current electronic music producer scene is literally full of shit. To put it in the most basic sense, is full of shit. Everything that you hear on Spotify and iTunes, the artists are not artists anymore. They're just trash people that will, sign off and maybe run their ass off and run a gambit on a touring session, often having to pay to even be on stage. And I'm so glad that I never went that route, really, with my music. And I never really had time because my profession, again, takes a lot of my time and stuff like that. So, like, again, with the advent of AI, I just have a lot more fluid approach to producing music and everything. And it's it's better. It's better than the old school way where you just sit and gruel for hours in Ableton and do mix downs and remixes and always looking for the latest thing and everything. AI really elevates a lot of that stuff. As of late, I've also been working with a few different AI-based companies, particularly in brand design, in corporate branding is more or less sort of the stuff. One of the clients could be like Venue Conex, for example, and it's a AI-driven business where if you're an organizer or you're organizing an event, all you have to really do is talk to an AI bot called Vicky. And the Vicky bot, it's still a work in progress, but the Vicky bot will basically do everything you need to do to like put together an event without like having to coordinate 50 horses and herd 20 cats. Gets it all together for you and everything. It's really kind of a cool tech. So that would be like one of my recent clients anyway. And I've had numerous clients over the years when it comes to that sort of stuff, and the social media front for a lot of brands over the years as well. So I mean, in short, I guess I'm just sort of a technologist, and I've gotten the short end of the stick as a technologist. I mean, a lot of you guys might think, oh well, tech, you're probably just rolling in the cash. It's still a sweatshop, man. It's still a sweatshop. To a degree, sometimes I'm like, I just want to work at a coffee shop. That'd be so much simpler, like literally. Anyways, yeah, the music industry is really bad though these days, and that's why now I just do my releases over on Bandcamp, and I assure you, there's no weird subscriptions. Once you buy an album of mine or my music, it's yours forever. Put it on your mobile phone, it goes into your helmet, or in your car stereo system, and it's fantastic. And so kind of the old school approach, where you can actually own your music, and then you can listen to the music that you want without it being through some dumbass playlist or something, which is very annoying. And I just have my grievances about Spotify over the years and insider track information that I've heard, about the industry as a whole. It's just really, it's some of the most garbage in the world these days. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna get lippy about the artists in the scene and music and stuff like that. They're all shit. They're really shit. It's terrible, and you guys are not really hearing like the best music that could be out there. You're not. And I mean, I'm kind of saying my music is good, okay, and I'm gonna, because I know it's pretty damn good. I've been doing it for quite a while, so I mean, listen to it. But when it comes to other artists and stuff, they're trash. They're literal trash. And on top of that, there's all kinds of different politics involved in music these days, where the messaging is being completely lost. And music used to be progressive in bringing insightful ideas and colorful ideas, or even controversial ideas. And music doesn't do that anymore, and that's one of the major problems. And that's where I kind of step in with some of the stuff that I talk about in my music. Inner turmoil, tortured soul stuff sometimes, loneliness sometimes, but I mean, they're not like grave reflections on myself and my standing. I'm a very lucky man. I have a loving wife, an amazing son. But even when you have everything, there's just things still that just sit in your mind, and you just got to get it out. And I get it out through my music. That's the only way I can do it. Or I get it out on like one of these machines, and not an aggressive writing or anything like that. Keep in mind, I'm not doing nooners. I've always put safety first on my writing, except for in my 20s. I was rather lucky, very lucky, to put it in the minor ways. But if you want to give another artist another shot, this is my pitch to you. If you like electronic music like deep house, funk, dance music, uh, with some different spin, a lot more detail in music and the fidelity, uh, you know, through an artist that really tries to be an artist, I guess. And I hate even saying the word, "Oh, I'm an artist." It's really, it's not everything that it's made out to be, especially when you're an indie independent artist. Especially when you're an independent artist, because it's just so hard to be discovered as a music producer these days. And it's a really closed off scene. It's such a closed off scene you wouldn't even believe it. And if you're a fellow producer or you're getting into electronic music or music production, learn an instrument like I did. Um, I've played guitar also all my life, so like all the melodies you hear on my music, a lot of it is contrived through a guitar at first, and then I transcribe it, or sample it and find out what key it is in. And there's a whole thing I can go on about and everything. But if you're an aspiring electronic music producer, I'm just going to tell it like it is right now. Be independent. Just promote yourself and get out there. Again, I urge you to use like Bandcamp. Bandcamp is amazing for the indie artist. And in fact, I would go so far as to say is, there's going to be a trend, and maybe I'm just going to be one of those guys that decide to break that trend when it comes to the mainstream music machine being broken. Because there's nothing better than I would love to see that whole thing, just take a piss in a mechanical fire, because it's so bad. It is literally so bad. And I don't mean to talk shit about other artists, but I know in mainstream, they are not artists. They are literally manufactured bots that'll say or do anything, for $1, for literally, some people just, throw their fucking mom under a bus for their music. It's terrible scene. It's an absolutely terrible scene. When you buy music from, mainstream artists and stuff like that, they might not even getting paid, but then again, you got to ask yourself, if they even deserve to be paid, because they're so shit human beings, like literal shit human beings. Okay, I've met a good number of them in my time when I lived in Los Angeles for many years, and I no longer am located in Los Angeles. I've pretty much brought myself into a nice little forest village backroads riding scene, and I've been out here for like 17 years just doing what I do out in Amador County, and I love it out here. It's probably one of the best things I've ever done. Consulting and work and everything like that's a little bit more difficult, but it is what it is, and I just love doing it. So I'm going to try and leave you guys on a good note. Give my music a chance, give my channels a chance. I do funny stuff. Sometimes it's serious. I never even know what I'm going to do. Sometimes I'll just go, oh, that sounds like a cool idea. Let's just screw that up, So, let me know when I hit and miss. That's all I can really say. And I guess, yeah, I'm Mech149, aka Mech149, aka Music That Rides. And I look forward to hearing from you guys in comments and following me over on Facebook or on YouTube. I'm very attentive to any kind of questions that you might have in the fields that I sort of cover. So, jump in, and we'll see you around. Peace.